Yo.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
It's the Anything for a Bit Sportscast. Tyler Watts, Eli Pena. It's the dog days of summer. Not a whole lot of NFL news that drips out.
The dog days are not over.
Right. It drips out a little bit, but we figured we get together today with the AFAB family. Schedule's been out for a while, but take our time here while OTAs are still wrapping up and go through the schedule. Talk about the matchups, kind of prognosticate. Obviously, we don't know exactly, or else we'd be rich. What's going to happen in the future?
I
do. You do? Okay.
But I can't get it right, though. People start to get suspicious, right? So you gotta miss some stuff.
Okay, so you
intentionally.
Okay. Miss a few on purpose. I got you.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll just go through the schedule, look at the matchups, see what we think is going to be the end record. Talk about maybe some developments we'd like to see over the season too. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Because I got the schedule up.
Yeah, I got
2022 regular season kicks off with a rematch. Tampa Bay opening up. Brady coming back after he retired, right? Which seems like forever ago, but was a big storyline.
It's like see the Cowboys taking the W that they had on the board next to the Tampa Bay and like taking it down as soon as they see that notification.
Yeah. So, Brady unretires. They've got a decent amount of the band coming back. They had some holes, that they had to look at on their offensive line. But it's basically the same team coming back,
No Ndamukong Suh, right? That's
probably
one of your big pieces.
A couple defensive departures, but
no Antonio Brown. He's not there.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, guys, he let the public know that he's not playing football in 2022.
He's not there.
Honestly, though, I have this
as a win or a loss.
I have it as a W coming out the gate.
You have it as a W for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we gotta tally this somewhere. Hold on, you got the schedule pulled up, so I'm just gonna pull up a little notes tally here.
Sure.
So
okay.
Keep track. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because healthy disagreement and of course competitive spirit to see who wins. Right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Since we're playing the game.
Right. Make it look pretty later. So you got week 1 as a W.
I gotta
Tell
win.
me why the Cowboys are going to win week 1. What gives you that confidence?
I think Tampa Bay is going to, especially on the defensive side of the ball, need a little bit to get going next season. Even on the offensive side, I mean, they have Brady, Evans, and Gronk coming back, but they've got some new skill position pieces they're going to need to work in. I think it'll be a close game. We just get them. They got us by 4 last year, opening up.
Cowboys have home field advantage this game.
Yeah,
right?
I think we just edge them out. That's all. I think our offense is really on point. That first game of the season, where we're Kellen's out there calling the game of his life, trying to dispel all his notions.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That he's washed or a very vanilla play caller. So I think we start out with a dub week 1 and feel great and talk about the Super Bowl right after the game.
Wow.
Because that's what happens when the Cowboys win early in the season.
So I'm gonna play a little bit of reverse psychology with my reasoning here, right? So
Okay.
I'm gonna give the Cowboys a loss week 1 against
Mm-hmm.
Tampa. I think Tampa's gonna win this game. The legitimate reasons why I feel that way, right? The logical reasons, Tom Brady, hatred aside, right? The logical reasons why I think the Cowboys are going to lose this game because I don't think that
Uh-huh.
offense is going to be ready week 1. You just
You
talk
don't think we think
yeah, unless
okay.
Kellen Moore is doing what you're saying, right, and he's
Mm-hmm.
scheming up the game of his career. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, let's just kind of look at the roster construct week 1. No
Mm-hmm.
Michael Gallup,
Mm-hmm.
almost assuredly, right? He's going to miss the
Yeah,
first 2 or
there's
3
no
games
no
close to the
question
first
about
month.
it.
Like, he's not going to be there. So my
Uh-huh.
receiving core is going to be CeeDee Lamb,
Uh-huh.
who we haven't really seen in a number 1 light yet.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Outside of that first half against the Chiefs before he got hurt, and wasn't really anything impressive happening there.
Okay.
Then I've got James Washington, who I know people are trying really, really hard to sell me on that, like, this dude's good. He just, hasn't been.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then I've got a rookie who I like a lot in Jalen Tolbert, but is probably going to be my slot guy, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I don't know, right? I'm going to have a rookie who's learning the offense, who's new to the NFL. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
have a wide receiver who hasn't really been anything in the NFL. And then I'm going to have a good wide receiver, or a solid wide receiver, right? CeeDee Lamb is a really good player, but we haven't seen him as a number 1. So I don't
Uh-huh.
feel great about that.
Uh-huh.
Then I go to the offensive line. Tyler Smith, whether you like the pick, hate the pick, is a rookie guard. I don't know that he's a plug and play player like that, but he's going to be your
Uh-huh.
starting left guard. Is Tyler
Uh-huh.
Smith ready to go week 1? I don't know. Right? I don't
Well,
know that
you don't think so.
he's going
So
to be
you're gonna
there.
say
He's
no.
going to be there, right? But like,
Yeah.
is he ready to play at that level against that caliber of a team? I
Okay.
don't think so. Right?
Okay.
And then I think that the Cowboys are still going to try to keep Zeke in at running back for like half the season. So,
Uh-huh.
like, I'm really thinking that, like, this Cowboys offense is going to build kind of like the Cowboys defense built last year.
Okay.
I think we're going to we're going to get healthier, right? The young players are going to get some coaching and get some real world experience. They're going to stop being stupid as hell and let Tony Pollard play more. I just don't
Okay.
think it's going to happen week 1.
Okay.
So, yeah, for all those reasons, I'm going to give the Cowboys the L. The reverse psychology portion that I mentioned earlier is, every single year I say this is the year that Tom Brady's going to fall apart. So he's probably going to throw 4 touchdowns against us week 1. And, the reverse psychology piece is maybe he actually will start to fall apart if I
Oh,
don't
okay.
say it. Yeah, if I
Okay.
don't say it, if I say he's not going to, maybe he
Okay.
will, because it hasn't
All
worked the
right.
other way around.
All right.
So
All right.
yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa Bay week 1.
Okay. Um, week 2 we go to, and what's so fun is that in those first 5 weeks we get to play both Super Bowl participants.
Mm-hmm.
But
Super
week
fun.
week 2 we get the Bengals with Lyell and some of their additions, so he gets to see us pretty quickly with
Mm-hmm.
the season starting up. But great coaching over there, right? A defense that consistently, I would say, played a little bit above expectation last year. Um, the offense expected to get better. Joe Burrow going through a healthy full season ends up in the Super Bowl 1 throw away,
Mm.
and they believe they're the prohibitive favorite in their division. Um, I do think this one is a loss. I've got out of these first 5, games, I've got a couple losses, first 6 games, and one of them's here to the Bengals, but a close game. Um, I just I'm remembering how that Bengals offense looked when they were humming last season, and the way they were taking apart really good defenses. And even though it'll be a close game, I think the Bengals will get that game, and we'll be 1-1, beating the maybe reverse expectations where we beat the Bucks and lose to the Bengals, where maybe people have it reversed. But that's how I got the Bengals game playing out. What you got for them?
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually have it reversed, just like you said,
Mm,
right? So I've got the
yeah,
loss to the Bucks, I've got the win to
yeah,
win against the
yeah.
Bengals here. And I think for me, you kind of said pieces of it there, right? I think that
Uh-huh.
the defense was a little bit overrated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think this was a team that got really hot against an AFC that wasn't great, right? You know, like the two arguably best teams that people were looking at were the Bills and Chiefs. And, you know, the Chiefs beat the Bills, right? So Bengals didn't have to worry about that. All they had to do was go in, and they did beat the Chiefs. Right? I say all they had to do is beat Patrick
All
Mahomes,
they had
right?
to
But
do.
like they did. But yeah, I don't know. And look, the 9 sacks in the one game. I know the offensive line got better for the Bengals, but like, is that offensive line Micah Parsons proof? Because
I don't think anyone's going to be Micah Parsons proof this year.
If it's not, I don't know, right? I think that one's probably more of a toss-up to me because I think that you probably still have the talent advantage, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I don't know that the Bengals have like a clear-cut coaching advantage, right? I mean, Zach Taylor, you like Zach Taylor. He's a young, head coach, but he's also a guy that kind of may have been on his way out. Good afternoon. I believe DD is Juan. He keeps changing his name. How do I certify managers? Yeah, had a very wonderful conversation with Juan earlier about certification processes in the workplace.
Get out the chat with that.
And I don't think, right, because you got your first 2 games at home, right? And I am not going to predict Dak Prescott and the Cowboys to lose 2 in a row at home. So if I've got them losing to the Bengals or to the Bucs, they're not going to lose to the Bengals. So yeah, we both got them 1-1 to start the season, but just in reverse order there.
Okay, same record, different paths. That's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and say the next 2, the Giants and the Commanders. And the reason I'm grouping them together is because I think people forget, right? It's the same thing every offseason.
Because they suck.
You guys better watch out. They're getting it together. Daniel Jones looks great. Washington's defense looks great. We gotta, that division. Listen, the Cowboys are gonna have.
They got Fitz magic.
Right. The Cowboys are gonna.
Shut up.
They are the best team, like by a decent margin. Okay. Now, did those teams get better? Sure, on paper, there's an infusion of talent, but part of that is the optimism that with all those players they get because they were so bad, right? They had high draft picks, right? They should be getting better.
I'm going to have the Cowboys go 5-1 against the division this year, so I got no arguments there. They're going to beat the Giants and Commanders both times, for sure. I'm good.
Okay. I think I have them losing 1 to the Eagles late in the season.
Yeah, but that's the 5-1.
Oh, yeah. But those next 2 games, they're going to win. They're going to win easily. Those teams, although division games can be tricky, they're not there yet. We'll have to see how those teams progress, and maybe, those later in the season games will be a little closer than we think. Maybe.
Sure. Yeah, we outscored division opponents like 468-12 last year. So whatever. Show me.
Interested to see how the Giants progress during the season. But I still none of these teams have really good unless these quarterbacks come out this year and do something far, above and beyond what they've already been doing, right? It would have to be a drastic jump in consistency and production. So not really feeling that there. So we're in agreement. They're going to roll over the next 2. Then we get to LA.
So we're 3-1, 4 weeks in.
We're 3-1, 4 weeks in. Yeah,
probably
we're 3-1, 4 weeks in. We feel good. We're hyped up going into LA. We lose against the Rams, though. What do you have there?
I do think we're gonna lose that game.
Can I add a caveat?
Sure.
Has Aaron Donald? I hadn't looked in the last day. Has Aaron Donald signed a deal yet with the Rams?
No, he is not. I think he's going to. But
okay.
He's not. Yeah, I think it's gonna happen, but he's not.
Okay, if they lose Aaron Donald, right?
It makes a big difference, right?
Yeah. But I think that Aaron Donald puts pressure on maybe one of the weakest or most vulnerable parts of our team. So definitely over the last season, we'll see. This season if it improves. So if he's not there, then I mean my loss is contingent upon Aaron Donald, still being a part of that football team.
Um,
Otherwise, I'm not entirely, convinced that their defense would shut down our offense there
yeah,
enough.
this one's more of a toss up to me than
Yeah.
like we're making it just like, hey, they're gonna lose because I do have
Hmm.
it as a loss,
Hmm.
but it's actually pretty close.
Hmm.
Um, you still can't convince me that Matthew Stafford's a better quarterback than Dak. So, like, I don't think they have the edge there just because, he finally won a Super Bowl 13 years in. Um,
Mm.
yeah, like you
They're
can't
just
convince me
different.
that you
They're
can't you
just
can't convince me that
different.
he's better quarterback than Dak. I've held that same opinion. That's not anything new for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, they lost Von Miller, right?
Right.
Gained Bobby Wagner. So
Right.
okay. Yeah, like I think it's gonna be close. And I think a lot of it, kind of where I'm at is still early in the season. I think later in the season I might predict a Cowboys win, but I think it's still just that idea of, I've got a lot of young pieces that I'm trying to put into place here.
Hmm.
We're going to be looking to fill holes for pass rush outside of, DeMarcus Lawrence and
Hmm.
Micah Parsons, right? I think they're still going to be in the formative stages of what this team is going to be. So I would say in week 5, the Rams will be a more finished product than the Cowboys are in week 5. So I will give the Rams a win, even though I would say that I think the Cowboys will be a better football team than the Rams by the end of the season.
By the end of the season, I could buy that. Um.
Or maybe I don't think that, but I could see that. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
predicting. That's a lot of
It's a lot of
pontificate,
predicting.
right?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't
But I got them.
surprise me for the Cowboys to be the better team come into the season.
Yeah. But I mean, I got them 3-2 going
Yep.
into LA. And at this point in the season, you are. I would, if it goes as I imagine, won't feel bad about those 2 losses because we'll look good and have things that appear to be, you know, easily correctable or things that will be improved upon, with personnel returning or with some continuity. But I'm feeling good at 3-2. The 2 games aren't blowouts. We didn't look like trash. Nothing to that effect. Uh,
And then we
so yeah,
get the filthy Philly Eagles
Sunday night. Um, and
in
look,
Philly, right? This game's
in
in
Philly.
Philly. Okay.
Now, Philly is going to have a little bit of time to come together. This is 6 weeks into the season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And all the chatter has been about how great the roster improvements have been.
The team
And
did get a
look,
lot
hey,
better.
hey, no, on it, they got some
The team
guys.
did get a lot better.
I
Yeah,
have
but
the
they got
Cowboys.
some guys.
Yeah,
They didn't just get some guys. Like
they got some
they got
guys.
some.
So
Philly
I
got some
got
players, bro.
I got the Cowboys winning this game, but this is the team they lose to later in the season, right? This is the one that they drop in the division. Is the
Okay.
the later game against the Eagles, but the Eagles kind of show up in this game and show people like, okay, you know what? We didn't beat the Cowboys, but we were damn good, you know. Um, so yeah, I've got them at 4-2. We beat Philly, but we're not super excited about what they look like, over there because they're probably gonna look decent. We're just gonna
Juan
be
say
good.
we lose. We lose to
Got it.
Philly.
Got it.
And I agree with Juan on this one. Actually,
Yeah, you think we
this is my
lose?
one. Yeah, and I think still talking early in the season, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think that the way that I'm looking at this team, kind of the trend that I'm going through my thought process is I think that it's going to build and grow as it goes forward. It has to, right? There's so
Mm-hmm.
many young pieces at pivotal, good Lord, spots that
Yeah.
if they don't grow throughout the season, it's not going to be a good year. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, remaining optimistic and believing this is going to be a good season, this is how my thought process has to work.
Okay, so you're three
So
and three
I'm three
through
and
these
three. We're
games.
early in the season. We're in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
right? And I'm thinking that the Cowboys are going to be vying for some type of playoff positioning. Hopefully, we've got the division, and it's just kind of last year where we're jockeying for a better seeded position by the
Okay.
time they play the Eagles. But they play the Eagles with 3 weeks left in the season, I think.
That's right.
That
December
might be that
24th.
might be a game that we need to win, and it's going to
Yeah.
be at home. I
Yeah.
think the Cowboys will bring their A game in that one. I think we get a little bit of a letdown loss, but again, we're still going to end 5-1 in the division. So
Okay. So we're just a little flip flopped on those results there. But generally, your overarching theme through the first 6 weeks of the season is that we're young, we need time, we're going to be playing our best football in January. And I'm thinking that we're going to be a little bit hotter out of the gate, maybe colored by the season that we had last year. I'm just remembering how quick they were out of the gate. But typically, it feels like offense does well in the first half of the season, and then defense catches up. Especially opposing units anyway. Not necessarily saying our team.
Sure.
But I think that's why I'm giving them the edge in some of these early on. But this is good. So the Lions come up next, and the Lions are interesting because
they're gonna lose.
No. I just I keep finding, just as an NFL fan, their franchise interesting right now. A lot of times it's irrelevant because they
be out here biting
are
kneecaps,
just losing. They just feel they feel like they're building a little something. They feel like it feels a little different.
Okay.
Are we gonna win? Yes.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, man.
They said that when they had Barry Sanders. They said that when they had Calvin Johnson. They said that when they had Matthew Stafford. Wake me up when they build something, bro.
I think they've always had a talented player or two, like a really, really.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you.
A really, really talented
never
player
agree,
or
bro.
two.
They ain't building shit.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? That's it. If you and Juan are in agreement, then
bro,
the universe must be,
right.
all aligned on that.
Right.
Chicago Bears are up next.
So we just move on. Chicago Bears are up next. We'll beat them too, though. Whatever, bro. The Bears are trash.
Yeah,
I feel terrible for Justin Fields, but the Bears are trash. So
they are.
Yeah,
the Packers,
those 2 games are wins.
Okay, so you've got us at 5-3 through 8.
Yep, and you're 6-2,
and I'm 6-2.
So almost at the bye week, almost at the halfway mark.
Right.
We got the Packers.
Sunday
in Lambeau
afternoon in Lambeau.
So this is after the bye, right?
October 3rd. Yes, this is after the bye.
Okay, so we go into the bye at 6-2 or 5-3. How are we feeling at either one of those spots at 6-2, 5-3?
We feel good. Like I said, I think even the games that we drop early in the season are going to be ones where you're like, man, easily could have but you take the lessons out of it and understand what it is. I don't think you're outplayed substantially at any point in the season. And hopefully
we're feeling okay.
Yeah,
we're definitely feeling good. If we're 6-2, like you've got us, we're definitely feeling good. 8 weeks into the season.
Yeah.
Juan says 5-4 after the Packers. Let's see. So what do you have for the Packers? Win, loss? We going to be 6-3 or 7-2? It's in Lambeau.
I got to win because I'm gonna stick to what I have here because I got a win and then a loss at the Vikings the week after that.
What? So we're gonna beat the Packers.
Yeah, it's not gonna make sense.
Lose to the Vikings.
It's not gonna make sense.
That sounds like some Cowboys shit. If I'm being
it's not gonna make sense. We're gonna come out of the bye. We're gonna be charged up. McCarthy's gonna go back into Green Bay, get his victory, ride out on his high horse, and we're gonna go to Minnesota like, yeah, we're so good, and we're gonna lay that Cowboys egg one time.
Wow. Juan is not sure what you're doing.
Overall, our record, right? I've got us at 7-3 after that. Then, right?
So after the 2-game stretch, you've got us at 7-3.
Yeah.
So after the Packers, after the Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am actually going to catch up to you here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also going to have us at 7-3 after those games. Because I'm kind of itchy. I didn't think you were going to have a win there against the Packers because I had that too. I don't know why. We're going to go in and win in Lambeau.
It just feels
I
right.
don't know. I just, it feels like it's the first like marquee win, if you will, that I've got us put on here when I'm looking from a schedule standpoint, right? Like they beat the Bengals, which I guess is a Super Bowl team, but again, I'm just not as bought into the Bengals as a real contender even
You're
this
saying,
year.
oh, I get what you're saying. You're
So
saying the
this
Packers
is
are the first game they're going to win. Where
right,
like,
because
oh,
I've got them
yeah,
losing to the
this team's
Rams, right? I've
legit.
got them
Okay.
losing to the Bucks. I've got them losing to even the Eagles, right? And so this is going to be the first win where you look at it and you're like, okay, this could be something that we've got here. Kind of get the monkey off your back, if you will, right? Had the Packers and Aaron Rodgers looming over you since Dak's rookie season, right? Maybe this is kind of where we start to dispel some of those demons a little bit and start to get on a good run. So, yeah, I've got a win there in Lambeau. And then, I don't ever believe in anything that the Vikings are doing. So,
right, because we know.
We're going to beat them too. So, that's my analysis. Thanks.
Okay, so you're caught up at 7-3.
Yeah, we're both 7-3
So we're both
now.
7-3 now. Okay. Now we've got the Giants on a short week, Thursday night. I still think we win that game. Like I said, I think the drop. I think the lone division loss is later in the season to the Eagles.
Yeah, that's a double.
Now the next one, and I'm not going to spend a bunch of time talking about the Giants. So the next one, the Colts,
moving on,
is interesting.
So we're both 8-3 going into the Colts game.
I want to say that they're going to lose this game. I'm going to say
to, or are you going to?
I'm going to. I don't
Do you want to, or are you going to?
Because we're just, it doesn't matter. It's just
okay.
Prognostication.
Sure.
I think they lose this game. That I want to believe that Matt Ryan's got one last good season left in him with a decent team, and they had a pretty solid defense, maybe the best running back, if not one of the best. In Jonathan Taylor, and they got a solid offensive line. The Colts could be one of those AFC teams that end up, 11 and whatever, 10 and whatever, and just are, a hard out. They're not, they're not the best, but they certainly aren't, the worst. They're just one of those top teams, in the AFC. But I could see this one. I could definitely see this one. And it's one of those games where it seems like we always have one during the season where that head scratcher where it's like, can we tackle that dude? Can we stop, a running back? And if I had to bet on a guy, embarrassing what I think will be a good defense, Jonathan Taylor, I'd put some decent money on that. How you feel about that Colts game?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of on the same wave with you there. I think this is one of those games where, we kind of look at it and maybe we talk again, kind of like we were in the San Francisco game in the playoffs last year. Where's the toughness level of this team at, right? We talked about that. Jonathan Taylor, right? Can we tackle this guy? Matt Ryan is probably not going to make a ton of mistakes unless, your offense is clicking and you put him in a bad position, right? And I'm also, I'm looking at the schedule and, I try not to take this on like a whole overview and try to, predict what what their win-loss is going to be and just take it at a game-by-game level. But, like, there's only, like, 2 other losable games left on the schedule. They're going to lose a couple of them, bro. They're going to.
Okay.
They're going to lose some of those games.
Hey, we're on the same page because when I look at the back half of that after the Giants, you're like, okay, they got to lose to somebody, right?
Like, right, because like if I have them beating the Packers, are they going to go like 13-4 or something? 14-3? Like I don't. It's not going to happen. This isn't a 14-win team, right? So they're gonna lose somewhere in here, right? So yeah, kind of hedging my bet a little bit here because I picked them to beat the Packers, and so I'm going to flip it and pick them to lose to the Colts.
Okay. So I'm 8-4.
What I'm doing here. I'm 8-4. We're in the same spot.
8-4 through the Colts. Okay.
Yep.
But Texans and Jags, they're going to beat both of those teams.
Got to be wins, right? No, I can't. the
You
most cynical
cannot
fan couldn't
be
predict a loss.
well, and I mean, this team again, even with all the things you talked about, wanting to get better or having a young team that's needing to get better. This is specifically the point in the season where you say, okay, if we're about to turn on some playoff football intensity, or
Right, I got to
anything
roll
like
these
that,
guys. I got
with
to roll them.
five games to go, I need to roll both of these
I got to
guys.
roll them. Got to.
So Texans and Jags take the L. Trevor Lawrence, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is really gonna. Their team will be good enough until next year.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know
that
if
we'll
they
see
made enough.
development from him, but I
Yeah,
don't, I don't
I
think.
don't know if his team is good enough yet for him to
Yeah,
like
right.
literally
Like
drag them to
it's not
victory.
gonna be enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
Um,
week 16 is the Eagles, and this is where you've got the divisional
right.
loss,
So
right?
10-4. Right. We're 10-4 going to see the Eagles. And kind of like you said, right? The game might mean something. I mean, Eagle, this is one of those. Hopefully, it doesn't happen. But every once in a while, Eagles will be hanging around at 9-5. Just
Mm-hmm.
something right there where they put some pressure on that late season game. But really, what I think it is when you talk about young talent coming together, I am just of the mind that unless they have a rash of injuries or these guys are significantly worse than we thought, um, I think by the end of that season, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
have something put together. And when you talk about a division game, the familiarity with the opponents, right? All the stuff that we always talk about, I think they can cook up one good game plan, to get the Cowboys later in the season when they have some cohesion and some chemistry built up. Maybe Jalen Hurts is elevating, his play with his accuracy, taking a few, small steps forward with his progression. But again, if unless AJ Brown isn't who he says he is, or Jalen Hurts, regresses with the
Mm-hmm.
accuracy, or their line gets hurt and stuff like that, right? All these what ifs, right? These things got to go well for them to get that game later that season. But that's what I
So
think.
you've got them
So I
10 and
got them.
5,
I've got them 10-5
and I'm
after the
11 and
Eagles game.
4 going
Yeah.
into the last two games of the season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, I think that's the one. I think kind of flip your thought process there, right? I think that's the one they're going to
Mm-hmm.
win. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a game that has a lot of meaning. It's going to be a
Yeah.
game at home.
I mean, I hope so for
Dak
drama's sake.
destroys the NFC East at home. Like he
He
destroys them in
does.
general, but like he just doesn't lose to them at home. He
He
doesn't.
does. He
So
does.
like I have a hard time if I'm going to predict 1-1. I have a hard time predicting the one loss to be the home game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, so 11 and 4 versus 10 and 5
Mm-hmm.
going into the Titans game. And I think at this point, kind of depending on where you are, right? You've got them at 10 and 5, or 10 and 5. I've got them at 11 and 4. This Titans game, I think, probably determines whether or not week 18 is
Relevant.
relevant, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where do you have them going here? Win, loss against the Titans.
So I've got a win against the Titans.
Okay.
But I don't and I have a win against the Commanders too, but the asterisk being if the game even matters. Because I do believe they'll pull everybody and won't really care about the result. Um,
So the Titans, I actually have a loss in that
yeah.
game,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is going to put us at the same record just about here, what we're looking at. But again, I think that's one of, like, I'm circling the Colts, I'm circling the Titans right there, and Green Bay, right? Like those three games after the bye, I have a feeling they're going to lose two of those three, but they're going to win
Mm-hmm.
every other game. So like, it's not going to matter, right? And maybe this is where we're going to look at this team and we're going to feel very similar to last year, where it's like, yeah, we won
They
11,
lost
12
all
games.
the yeah.
Right. We beat the Packers, we beat the Bengals, but the Rams, the Bucks, right? The Eagles got us once, the Titans
Uh-huh.
got us, the Colts
Uh-huh.
got us.
Uh-huh.
this may be kind of the same thing where we're looking at kind of saying, who did we beat?
Every playoff team we played,
Yeah.
we got beat. Yeah.
And I'm kind of
Except the
thinking
Packers. Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking that week 18 game won't hold that much weight when we come in 11-5. So I
Yeah.
actually do have a loss to the Redskins there.
The Commanders.
Or the Commanders, I'm sorry. Thank you. To make it 11-6. So you've got them 12-5.
Okay.
I've got them 11-6. But of course, that's just me already assuming that game's not going to matter, right? Of course,
Yeah.
that game's matters. We mop the floor.
And I mean, look, that's when I look at the schedule overall and look at the NFC East, the Cowboys are supposed to beat that. Like that's why I don't think the division's that close, because the Cowboys are the 11 to 12 win team.
Right.
And I can't. It'd be hard for me to imagine, like, if New York or Philly or the Commanders had a 10-win season, that would be huge in comparison to where we think they're gonna be.
Sure.
Maybe the
Because
Eagles
Philly
got
made it
that
last year with
confidence.
what, 8? Was it 7
Yeah,
wins?
I was
8
gonna say
wins,
maybe
8 and
Philly
10
has
or
that
something, 8 and
confidence.
9. Is that what they were last year?
But the Giants end up at 10-7 or something like that. Nobody saw that coming, right?
I will certainly not be predicting that, sir.
I still think in a weak division that is getting better, but still a weak division, the Cowboys, specifically Dak Prescott, because the other teams cannot equal the level of his quarterback play. He's still going to own the division, And then against the rest of the league, the question will be, can we beat the teams that quote unquote matter? Right.
Right. Because, I mean, that's
in
what I
there?
was going to say. You look at it, right? You get the Giants twice, the Commanders
Mm-hmm.
twice, you get
Mm-hmm.
the Lions, you get the Bears, you
Mm-hmm.
get the Texans, you get the
Mm-hmm.
Jags. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
come on. It's like,
I mean, Colts,
I'd have to look at the
Packers.
draft order last year, but that's got to be like 6 of the top 10,
Exactly,
teams
right?
drafting last
Colts,
year, right?
Packers, Vikings, Bengals, Rams, right? What's your performance look like in those games, right?
Yeah.
Those are the ones. Now, I think 4 of my losses.
Titans probably on that list.
Titans too. Now, I've got 4 of the losses coming in those games, right?
Right.
So I mean, obviously I have a little bit of bias about the big game, letdown that the team typically is going through. But again, we're just, we're prognosticating. I do think that I do agree with what you're saying, that even though I think we'll start a little faster on offense, that this team, God, I pray so this much, but this year, sorry, I was looking at a little ad that was coming up there, that they're playing their best football, come January. If nothing else, I really think that front office, the coaching staff, that taste of the expectation and then just getting bullied off the field last year, I don't think it's sitting well with them, as it shouldn't. And they're going to be itching to prove, themselves come the end of the season. That's where the focus is, right? We're not just looking for the regular season, triumphs and the accolades that come with that. Like their whole overarching theme is pointed towards there. So would love to see the improvement this year, with that physicality and that winning deep in the season. But yeah, man, I think it'll be good lessons learned in those losses, and we're not going to be scratching our heads saying like, do we even know what football team's showing up?
Right.
Hopefully, just more consistency overall with that.
Yeah, so we've got them at an 11-win team for me, 12-win team for you, kind of hinging that last game with the Redskins or the Commanders. Did that twice today. Twice. I don't think I've ever done that. Twice in one show. I'm off of it today. But most of those wins on both of our ends are against teams that, 60% of the league should beat comfortably. So the win number is going to look good. Maybe we're going to feel pretty similar to how we felt last year. I think there's a couple of those swing games, though. If we win that Colts game, that Titans game, one of those games early on, be it the Rams or the Bucks, right? If we pick up 2 out of those 3 with the Bengals, give me 2 out of any 3 on either end of the bye week, right? And and I'm going to be feeling a lot better about this
Let,
team in
let
in
me
big games.
let me ask you one little parting question here, just to kind of look at the schedule and wrap it up. Let's
What you
say
got
we're
for me?
right about those win totals, but
Mm-hmm.
we struggle in the division. And but we beat the Bengals, we beat the Rams, we beat the Packers, like we beat all those quote unquote big time games. But let's say we split games with New York and we split the games with Philly. We still feeling good? We like that? Do we care? Do we care? Because see, that's
I
the
think you're
other side
asking
of that,
different
right?
questions. I think at that point, like
Okay.
instead of asking questions about is this team tough enough physically, are they tough enough mentally, can they hang with the big boys? It's,
Uh-huh.
if they get comfortable, are they going to let off the gas? Because I think that's what you see a lot of times with teams that will get beat
Mm-hmm.
by a lesser team, but then kind of rise to their competition. It's
Mm-hmm.
like they always play at whatever level they're being played against. So I
Okay.
think that's a whole different level of questions that you then have to ask about that team. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know that you're happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just kind of that, take your pick. Do you want to question if they have the ability to do it, or do you want to question whether or not they're going to do it? I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's kind of what that calls to me. Because last
Mm-hmm.
year it was much more of just like, hey, like, can they even hang with these? Like, are they physical enough? Period.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not can they be? Not are they going to play up to that level? It's like, are they actually physical enough?
Yeah.
We don't know the answer to that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that, if you flip that, we know the answer to it if we're beating these teams that are, better quality teams, physically tough teams, we're in these shootouts. We know we can do it. But if we're playing down to our competition in some of these easier games, then it's that question of like, okay, is your eye really on the ball, right? Like, where's your head at in the game? Are you staying focused every game like it's, the most
God.
important? Like, like those are the different questions you're asking, I think.
Uh-huh. Look, no, this is a great answer. I'm
I know.
on the okay. It was an okay answer.
Wow. That quick, huh?
No, look, I was on the Dallas Cowboys, like I'm on their like their official homepage,
Mm-hmm.
and their little social media drop. All I can see, I don't have the audio on. All I keep seeing is Stephen A. Smith's face on a loop in a cowboy hat with this stupid
No,
ass grin on his
no.
face. So
Stephen A.
on
Smith
that
is the
note,
worst.
on that note, I
He's
am
the
ready.
worst. Yeah, I'm done talking now. Thanks for that. Good.
I am ready. Why
Good.
would they do
Done.
that?
I don't
Why
I
did
don't
they
know.
do that?
I don't
But yeah, the 16th OTAs wrap up. We can get back together, talk about OTAs as a whole. Because again, it's kind of funny. I was listening to Kavanaugh. He was like, "Yeah, well, they had a practice, so we're gonna report on it, right?" Like
Right.
that's kind of the
They were
thing of
at
the
practice
season.
today.
But
Tyron
I
Smith's
think
back hurts.
right,
Surprise.
trade him, right off top.
Right. His
Um,
back hurts.
but
Surprise.
I think when OTAs conclude, we can talk about it as a whole. That'll be good. Then there'll be enough stuff to at least yap about at that point.
That's a bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get
All
out of
right,
here, man.
AFAB fam. Appreciate y'all. Take care.
Holla holla.